Thank you.
I always have to say that.
Thank you.
I always have to say that.
This is all hand dyed, fine wool. Looks like this. And it's going to turn into this. I do all this dyeing in the winter. And then I have to strip it all and make these little balls to spin up these bracelets. Cape Cod Sea Anemones.
Hi, Bill. Bill.
So the one you have on your arm does not have shells on it?
No, but I put pearls. You know how you have a zillion of these bracelets? It kind of makes it look cool. This is all hand dyed. I buy the white silk chiffon and dye it at the same time I'm dyeing the wool and the other pieces of silk. And then I felt them. They start huge. When I start, I've shrunk them down. There's the back. So there's different types of silk here and different fibers of silk. And then it was sewn with silk thread by Bopa. It's stir crazy because I don't sew. So Bopa sewed that for me. And that's my one-of-a-kind masterpiece for the summer.
Max Redfire Wheeler, right under the name Max Redfire, which was a name given to me many years ago. And here I'm selling my book of poetry, Zen Popcorn, which has been widely reviewed. Also my kid's story, Jeremy West, A Boy Who Fell into the Sky. And then these are poetry bookmarks. Some of the poems are in the book, Zen Popcorn, and several of them are new. I also have greeting cards. I take photos of nature. It's my art. Up front I have limited edition prints.
Not about that.
Abstract art. And then I have small pieces of original art. And I have a few photographs as well. Photographs of nature. This is called Swimming the Blues. So that's a picture of Redfire Studio, Woods Hole.
My name is Sue Wadowski and I live here in Falmouth, and I've been working with clay in a variety of styles for about 15 years. I work especially in porcelain with a family of glazes called Chino glazes. And I love working with those glazes because they do very unexpected things in the kiln. And sometimes the colors have a wide range from oranges to blacks to grays to a very high luster. And so it's always quite a surprise when the kiln is open and you see what you get. And sometimes it's magnificent and sometimes it's not, but I love the anticipation of opening that kiln. Some of them have higher luster than others. I mean, let me just move some of these out of here because so this is an example of a piece that Chino fired. It has a little bit of black and a very high luster, which is really dependent on kiln placement, both the location in the kiln and the location of things close to it, and the clay. This piece is on porcelain. This is the same glaze. It picked up a lot more carbon in the early stages of firing in the kiln, and it's also done on a very dark clay, a stoneware clay. So it has a very different result, even though I'm using the same glaze. It's really just one glaze and wax resist. So, and the other thing about these pieces, I have been for a long time making bowls, and in recent past year or so, decided to start altering the forms and working with them. And this is one of the most recent pieces. I think it's a really interesting shape I've been having. So I've been having a lot of fun taking the work to this next level.
Hello, my name is Kim Medeiros and I have the Barn Pottery in Pocasset, 359 Barlow's Landing Road. And today I'm here at ArtsFalmouth and I'm doing a little bit of sgraffito work on this upside down vase right now. So I made this on the pottery wheel and now it's at that leather hard stage. I did some stamping, actually turn it the right side up. And you can see I started doing these Cape Cod critter stamps. So I have some squid and some osprey on this piece. And I'm kind of doing some finishing touches as far as decorating today. So I'm doing my sgraffito work. And then a little bit later, I'll do some slip trailing work with these slip trail bottles. So with the slip trail bottle, I can use that to kind of squeeze out a design. And I do, oops, sometimes you have mess ups, that's okay. I always just use a little sponge to clean something like that up when it happens on a pot. But with this tool, it allows me to be able to do custom work. I do a lot of wedding plates, and I do handprint plates and then write the children's names on the pieces. Do wedding dates, locations, new names. But sgraffito was kind of my first love when I first started doing a lot of work as far as decorating on my pottery, and I always kind of go back to it, but with the use of the stamps it makes the decorating go a lot more quickly. So I try to kind of really make the pots my own by using a variety of techniques. That's great. So this is some of my work that I have on display today, and it has a variety of the techniques that we talked about. So I have some that have a lot of stamping detail, and then I individually glaze each stamped impression. These are some of my sea critters that I've got going. I did some diatoms and bioflagellates, and I make ringing goblets, so you ring when you're empty. I also do a lot of Indian themed work. I raise awareness about human trafficking in the worldwide. So some of these images are from images that I went on a trip in 2006, and I met women in Calcutta and actually in a lot of places in India, and they're survivors of human trafficking, and we try to empower them. So you can check out madebysurvivors.com if you'd like to find out more about that organization that I worked with. I also do mother and child vases, and I kind of celebrate motherhood and just women in general. All of my work is functional, and you can use it in the dishwasher, and I like to try to make them really different and my little bird series. I kind of go on tangents, and right now it's the Cape Cod critter scene, so there's, you know, the scallops and the squid, osprey, piping plover, brook trout.
My name is Hollis Engley. I have Hatchville Pottery in Hatchville off of Route 151 on Boxbury Hill Road. And I make functional work. I make pots that are for soup or for coffee or for tea or displaying flowers or fruit or anything like that. And I use a stoneware clay, and I fire up to temperatures of about 2400 degrees. And I glaze often with ash glazes. Glazes that are made in part with wood ash. You can see, I don't know if you can see the green glass-like surface on the inside there. That's the result of wood ash that was in the glaze, and it makes a very glassy surface. And I also use a lot of Japanese-derived glazes. This is what's called a Shino glaze, and it's not unique to me. I mean, a lot of potters use a similar kind of thing. It's a high feldspar glaze. This one is designed to trap carbon, so that when there's smoke in my gas-fired kiln, that smoke gets trapped in the glaze and makes this crackled surface and these black spots here, and it just stays inside the glaze. That's called a carbon trap Shino glaze. A lot of these pots here are made, they're opened up, they're cut first when it's just a piece of clay on the wheel, and then they're opened up after they're cut, so that the facets that I cut into the clay torque to one side, and they create unusual surfaces, and they also throw the pot off of round. So a lot of these pots, you look at them, they're not perfectly circular, and that's why. And I like that. It's not a defect. That's something I'm looking for. This is a similar kind of one. This had 3 facets cut in it, so that when you throw it, after it's got the facets cut in it, it opens up in sort of a wonky fashion. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And then Kim Medeiros and I, who's also in the Mazer Gallery show next week, have been working together on pots for not quite a year. And I will often throw pots. Yesterday, she was here at ArtsFalmouth working on some cups that I had done. But this was a larger piece, maybe 3 pounds of clay. And I threw the basic form, and then, while it was still wet and malleable, I took this over to Kim's studio, and she altered the surface. She carved the Buddha in here. She added this frame to the Buddha, and then she slip trailed these dots and these designs up here, and also cut her own distinctive style of foot on the bottom of it. And we've been having, I don't know that we've sold a lot, we've sold some of them, but we've had good success just personally between the two of us working together on pots like this. She tends to do the decoration. I often glaze the pots. I'm looking at Kim across the way here, listening to me explain this. And some of these pots are small ones that she has thrown and then decorated, and I have glazed. My glaze is in my kiln. Our kilns are both gas-fired, but mine reacts somewhat differently, or the glazes react somewhat differently in mine than they do in hers. This happens to be a pot full of Buddhas. Buddha plays a role in some of the decoration and some parts of our lives, I guess.
My name is Andrea Goslin, and I do the fused glass, or otherwise known as warm glass. Hot glass is blown glass, and warm glass is done in a kiln. So the glass is cut and then fused together, and that's the first step. And then you take it out, you shape it if it's going to be a plate or have a smooth edge or a very thick square edge. You cold work that edge. And then it goes back into the kiln to slump it into its final shape. So these all start out flat pieces after the first trip through the kiln. And then they're slumped into their final shape. And some of the pieces like this one, these are all individual pieces of glass, small strips of glass that are then all fused together to make the blank, and then that's slumped into the bowl.
That's a lot of work.
It is. It's very time consuming. And that's the same for the cone bowls, are longer strips of glass that are then fused together and then slumped into the deep cone shape. So to fuse them, it's about a 12-hour cycle in the kiln, and then they come out and then you kind of decide what you're going to do with it, what shape, what its final shape is going to be. And then it's about another 10 hours in the kiln to slump it into that shape.
Is this a technique you developed yourself?
No, warm glass or fused glass is actually the original way glass was made was in a kiln before they decided it was very long and arduous, and then blown glass came from that because it was much more conducive to production than fused glass. So it kind of died out for 1,000 years literally and just started making a comeback in the 70s. I get my glass from a company in Portland, Oregon called Bullseye Glass, and it comes as large sheets. And so you cut that into whatever patterns or what you're going to do with it. So that's why it kind of built on my stained glass to move into fused glass. Yeah, these start out as, these are actually tiles that are left over from when I cut this. I make a big slab and then cut the circle out to make these. And then I have all these little bits, and so I break them up like mosaic tiles and fuse it together. And so when they melt together, they get kind of this slightly different pattern. And then I can cut that and cold work that to make like a strip to put in the plate or something like that. So when you turn these over, the pattern is all the way through, because that's one slab of glass.
Okay, hi, my name is Sigrid Hecker, and I have been a member of the Falmouth Artist Guild since 1999. I think the Falmouth Artist Guild started in the 1960s, and it just started with a group of people who were taking art courses, and they were meeting in different people's homes, and then they moved to what is called, what is that up the road that we had?
The
poorhouse.
poorhouse,
It was
yes.
called the poorhouse, and then they were located in that for quite a number of years. Then the town actually wanted to renovate it because I think it had some issues with disability ramps, etc. And so we were homeless for a couple of years. And then we had some very, very enterprising officers who decided that they would do a fundraising event, and years of fundraising, not just one event, and actually collected enough money to build the new center on Gifford. And it's been our home for several years now, and we just love it. They have classes, we have enough exhibition space, you know. And I think the one thing that I love about the Guild is really the camaraderie. We really go out and paint together, we support each other. So it's beyond the classes, it's really an emotion, a feeling, and everybody's welcome, whether you're a little beginner or very advanced. So it's a fun place, and I can't speak enough about it. I'm always trying to recruit more and more members, so it's on Gifford Street, and the phone number is 540-3304.
Hi, my name is Mary Nickerson, and we are, three of us artists are showing our work, part of the Falmouth Art Guild, and Sigrid Hecker this is her work, just as a sample. This is her sister's photograph, that's Barbara Hecker, and then over there, Ruth Leach. And this is my Mary Nickerson.
Can you tell us about this picture? How did you make it?
This picture is a march scene, although I'm not showing the march at this stage. I tried to work impressionistically. I usually have a warm under painting, and then I paint by palette knife in more local colors and halftones. some of the people at the Art Guild will paint what they call tonalistically, more photo realistic. The good thing is that everyone is welcome, and there are many different ways to be happy there. We started having a weaving class, and we are just adding another floor, but we just raised the money for an elevator, so it's handicap accessible. And so then we'll be offering pottery, printing, so it is all encompassing. And any idea that people have for a class or a medium, they're welcome. Hope to see more people there. Thank you.
My name is Andrea Olson, and I am the owner and creator of Little Nibbler snack bags. They're reusable, waterproof snack bags that are machine washable and dryable, and they're free of all the chemicals like BPA, lead, and phthalate that you don't want in plastics touching your food. They're really great to keep lots of plastic out of the landfills and to keep money in your pocket. You save lots of money not buying your plastic Ziplocs at the store. Patterns that I came up with myself.
And I understand they're very popular.
They are. They're selling like hotcakes. And I do have some insulated bags too. So if you have a cold sandwich to take. Dishcloths. Reusable, so you don't have to buy SOS pads and throw them out, and they're really great on non-stick pans. They don't scratch, but they're really scrubby. They cut right through soap scum in the shower. They cut right through anything in the kitchen. You can use them on your appliances and they won't scratch stainless steel or anything like that. I have a few organic cotton, but most of them are just regular 100% cotton. And then all of my baby hats, and I do adult hats, but typically only on order.
Very nice. Are these pot holders or are these scrubbers?
These are I made them as dishcloths, but I use my flower ones as doilies or hot pads a lot. And these actually this is a pot holder and a trivet with a cork center in it for a hot pad. But they can be used as, I wouldn't suggest a pot holder for the ones with holes in it, but they can definitely be used as hot pads or dishcloths. This was my biggest seller of the weekend. It's the only one I have left. It's my mason jar to-go cups. They flew off the shelves yesterday. Another reusable BPA free item. Coffee cup cozies. Keep your coffee or tea warm and the heat off of your hand if you like to hold it other than on the handle. And I make them in all different sizes. Some of them have the bottomless so that it can go on a tumbler instead of a coffee cup.
Hi, we're John and Sharon Creel. We're from Sandwich. The name of our company is Watch the Shores. What we like to do is we go down to the beaches and we collect the stones and we cut them and polish them up and make beautiful jewelry. We also do some things with our sea glass. I love to travel, and so my daughter and I would travel the world looking for some beautiful pieces of sea glass. We also incorporate those into our jewelry collection. We've been doing this for
4 years now.
4 years now. This is the man who does all the crafting behind the scenes. I put this
I'm the
together.
workforce.
He's the workforce.
It's her business.
This is a two-person team.
This is a stone that we found down on the beaches of Sandwich. This is called unakite. If you look in some of the stores around, you'll see that this can be used as a semi-precious stone, but we were lucky enough to find it down here in our beaches down here right on the Cape. This is a stone that we collected over on the beaches over on the north side of the Cape, and it's got a lot of beautiful pieces of granite, which I think my husband here knows a lot about the glacier that dropped all these stones off, and they've molted together and they've just been beautiful. Now, this is our Land of Hoy collection. These stones are from all over the world. This one is a beautiful pink opal. This one is blue lace agate, which is gorgeous. This comes from South America. And then one of my favorites, I just love the color, this is Soda Light. Beautiful dark blue. So we've been making rings this year, and they've been very, very popular with the crowds. This is some of the sea glass that my daughter and I have collected from Bermuda. We love to travel, as I said, and so we pick up a lot of the glass from areas other than around here, because there's not a whole lot of sea glass on the Cape anymore. But we've had fun doing that, and that's a nice little hobby.
It's from the Cape Cod. The stones on the beach are quite exceptional. A lot of them are...
How are sales going today?
Excellent. A lot of people out today enjoying the weather, enjoying the crafters, the vendors. A lot of good stuff.
And it's a gorgeous day.
It's beautiful. Couldn't ask for a better Cape Cod day.
Yeah.
And what better to have at the end of your Cape Cod day than this beautiful wine basket with goodies. And only $1 a chance.
Still do this.
My name is Marita Burns, and this is Shirley Wood, and we sell our fused glass jewelry together. The glass comes like this. It's lasered on in a vacuum chamber, and we cut it up with a cutter and collage it together, and then it gets fired to 1500 degrees for 6 hours, and it fuses, and then we make jewelry out of it.
Okay, so this particular piece of acrylic glass has multiple layers of oranges and reds with a little shiny piece of yellow gold in it. It's a show we look forward to the most.
Yes.
The people are amazing. Everyone is in a festive mood. There's a lot of traffic. There's been a lot of people by.
And we meet a lot of interesting people.
Oh yeah, from all over the world. We had people from Australia yesterday, and I think someone was from England. Yeah, it's been a wonderful experience.
Hi, I'm Maureen Saunders. I'm a volunteer for Highfield Hall and happy to be here at Arts Alive Festival. And I am co-chairman with Mary Lou O'Rourke, who's taking a break right now. And here we're featuring all the programs that go on all year long at fabulous Highfield Hall, which years ago was the summer home of the Beebe family. And of course the Beebe Woods are a tremendous part of the heritage of Highfield Hall, and today there is an open house, and all the fairy boxes will be on display with a walking trail to see them. There's about 20 of them. We have a full summer program, children's programs, and a free drawing today for t-shirts, an evening at Highfield, and a workshop to make American Girl clothes. And the response here has been tremendous. The mosaics will be on display through July, and we're just very excited with what's going on at Highfield Hall. We encourage everybody to come and see this treasure that was saved from the wrecking ball about 12 years ago.
My name is Deborah Hill. I wrote these books. I first wrote them for the bicentennial. This one was published in 1975. The next one in 77, and the last one in 79, and I will be presenting that one next winter. They're set on Cape Cod. They are based on this gentleman, his family. He wrote a memoir. He was a captain of a brig right after the Revolution, and he's my husband's ancestor. So I knew about his book, and when the bicentennial was coming along, I thought that would be a pretty good way to start. And so this is his wife, whom I made up. And I made up a town for them to live in on the North Shore of the Cape, and then this is his grandson, and this man really did exist also. He made his fortune running Concord coaches to the gold fields in Australia. That's why I have my hat, because it's set in the clipper ship era and moves into the Gilded Age. I can't put the hat on.
Hi, I'm Candy Proctor, and I'm the owner of Pax Gaia Designs, my own line of jewelry made from fine silver and fine precious, semi-precious stones. I'm here at Arts Alive today, which is a beautiful festival on a beautiful day in downtown Falmouth. Good. These have been a very popular item. This is chalcedony, and the components are handmade. They're just looking for the right ears. Here's another pair that are some of my favorites. This is tourmaline, and again, some handmade fine silver components. So these are actually getting their first exposure to the sunlight today, and hopefully they too will find the right ears. This is some of my new hand-hammered components, and I'm trying to make some pieces that are a little more zen, a little more funky. So I'd like to work with a lot of higher quality stones, but sometimes just using some beautiful jasper. Just makes a more earthy piece. So this is some Picasso jasper and a little frosted quartz. Well, I'm actually got very inspired watching Downton Abbey. And so I've, not made exact duplicates, but I've made some pieces that are kind of inspired by that Edwardian and then sort of transitional period. This is some really nice London blue topaz, which is not catching the sun right now, and some saltwater pearls. That's maybe one of my new favorite designs. The Falmouth Art Market will begin on July 2nd at the green in front of Town Hall Square. We have several artisans that are going to be showing. We probably have about 30 artisans every week. A wide array of handmade arts and crafts. And we'll also have a couple of musical venues every week, all local musicians. So this is an opportunity to really see the local artisans of Falmouth and their finest.
Hi, I'm Andrew Hicks. I'm a blown glass artist who was working full-time in the Falmouth area for the last 4 years or so. I normally do a lot of festivals around town, but I just moved out to Western Mass, so I'm not going to be around as much. But for the last 4 years, I've been doing glass work in the Falmouth and Woods Hole area, and some in Sandwich. The jellyfish is one of my most popular items. It's a little pendant with tentacles going through it, but it's a pretty awe-inspiring item with kind of a mystical creature in there. They're kind of tough to photograph sometimes. I find it's hard to photograph some glass. I'm not the only one that makes jellyfish. Lots of people make mushrooms, and other people make jellyfish, but each person that makes an item will have it'll have its own characteristics depending on who did it. We're all a little bit different. I can't even make two of mine the same, so everything's unique.
So I'll have a couple of bands if you guys want to.
And do people like jellyfish?
They do. I don't think they like swimming with them, but they do like the item. It's good to be here, and it has been a beautiful weekend down at Arts Live, and everyone came out to support the event, so it's been great. So I will hopefully come back and do this one again next year, because it's always a great time.
Get away and let the gentleman. I think anybody's supposed to respect you.
I'm Christina Raleigh, and I'm here with Climate Action tent here at Arts Alive. I'm here because the arts are one of the most important ways that we can move forward on addressing the issues of climate change. The issues are cultural as much as they are scientific. And until we change our culture, we'll not be getting very far with adopting the kinds of actions that need to take place to address climate change, to really understand the meaning of climate change with sea level rise here in town, and with the need for alternative energy and ways that we're showing here at this booth today, which include recycling, reuse of materials. You can see my necklace here, which a friend of mine made and gave to me from, orange juice bottles and that sort of thing. It's one of my favorite necklaces. And we also are looking at other issues as part of climate change. No single silver bullet is going to make the change. The change is going to be made by people using their resources more wisely, and that takes place in not only the solid waste that we have, the plastic bottles and the plastic bags that we have hanging here, which often just go into the ocean and interfere with the fish and add all sorts of toxic chemicals into our environment, which should not be there. So all of this goes together. We connect to the dots and we create a culture around all of this, in which people can really enjoy and express themselves and say, okay, we're working toward a better world, we're working to address climate change, and we're having fun at the same time. So that's the purpose of this tent here today at Arts Alive.
Hi, my name is Lance Schenkel, and I'm the carver of the Carousel of Light, and I carved the whole thing in Falmouth. I gotta pick a little place that I'm kind of, let's say right here, I want to round this off a little bit here. So I'm just gonna kind of chip this away. On the third kick, it's gonna hit 1, 2, there we go. The one that really Actually, it's very therapeutic. hitting on something. You've had a bad day. Come down here and help us carve these horses.